Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to another quick video. Hopefully there's not too much fan noise in here, but I'm going to be installing something I've been waiting to do for quite some time, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this is the Rough Country JL MLC-6 kit. And if you're wondering what this is, hopefully you can see in the sheet a little bit. This is a, I guess you can call it a lighting panel, right? Where you're gonna have multiple switches, and it gives you 6 of them. You install this cool little module, the controller itself, right? So you get a switch face with wiring that's going to go in the column in the stack itself. You get the relay pod with power and ground wires, zip ties, everything else, and all the underhood mounting hardware. So if I go into the Jeep real quick, I can kind of show you. Might be a little dark in here and it's a little messy, but this lighting panel, which you probably can see, let's see if the light adjusts here. Actually, let me use my phone light right here, so you can kind of see it's a little messy right now, but that light panel is going to go in here, and I don't have anything. This is a Sahara, as you guys know. If you have a Rubicon or some of the other models where you did get the auxiliary pod, I didn't get that from factory, and that's the reason why we're installing this in here, because we didn't have that choice from factory. So we're gonna add this light panel. It is from Rough Country. I'm super excited. We've been waiting. It's been out of stock for some time. And we also have a Rough Country light bar that goes in the front in this midi-built front bumper itself. So stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you like this kind of stuff, DIY, off-road trails, sports cars, and so on, then you've got a good reason to subscribe. If you are a subscriber, thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment below. Let's get to the install. So installations look pretty straightforward. Looks like we're gonna start with a 13mm socket, and we're gonna go in here and remove, I think that's like the water reservoir, it looks like. The washer tank, windshield washer tank. We're gonna remove that, and that's where this piece is gonna go. Try not to scratch the X5's hood here, but this is really cool, and I'll open this up once we have it installed. So this is going to install along the side. Switch panel is going to go inside. We got to run some wires, so we'll need a drill bit so we can drill through this. This is kind of a grommet or cap that's between the firewall on the driver's side, so we'll take a look at that as well. But it looks pretty straightforward. Then we got to take apart some of the interior, the AC panel and some of the other things, and then kind of see where to run the wires. Once you run the wires, as you can see in here, you'll install the faceplate. Let me show you what that looks like. Got it in here somewhere. Here we go. So this is what that switch plate looks like. It does have backlights from what I understand here. And what's nice about this, it fits pretty flush. We'll see what that looks like. So you'll remove that little pocket that's in there now for those that don't have the OEM auxiliary switch. Or if you don't have a Rubicon. If you have a Rubicon, that's where your quick disconnect is going to go. So this is obviously not going to work. The good news is Rough Country offers another option, which is a option that goes on top of the panel over here. So you can mount one up here. Since I don't have the quick disconnect from factory, I don't have a Rubicon, then we thought this would make the most sense. So we'll just install it where that pocket goes, because as you can see, there's just trash in there. There's really nothing in that pocket that we need or use. And again, I'm just putting some trash and gloves in there, so this will look really great. So again, let's go right to and install the MLC-6. All right guys, we are going to start with, I believe these are the two that it's telling me to remove. Hopefully this angle's okay. I'm trying the POV camera, and it is something I used to do with my WRX projects. A lot of people seem to like it, so we'll start here. This is 13mm socket. I tried the 13, that definitely does not fit. So this is a 10, so I'm going to start with removing these two. Looks like it's the colored ones over here. So we'll see if this works. Always, you guys know instructions are super fun. So here is the multiple light controller box itself. That's the brains of the operation, and hopefully this piece of paper doesn't fly away. Sorry, I've got a lot of cars coming by today. First day of school and everybody driving by. So I've got the two painted bolts right here. Now I'm noticing something right away. It looks like whatever vehicle they were using, I don't know if it's a Sport or a Rubicon, I don't know what the difference is, doesn't have this right here. So we're gonna have to remove this guy and probably relocate this somewhere else, because the instructions call for this to go here. So I'm gonna have to figure out where else we mount this guy. Okay, so we got that off fairly easily. Of course, it's trapped in here, one of these little brackets. And we might be able to mount that somewhere over here, I hope, just so we can relocate that. I think, yeah, I gotta figure out where that's gonna go. But essentially what you want, according to the instructions, is this guy is supposed to sit here now, as you can see. So I can either move this a little further back, but yeah, there's not enough room for that to be over here. So we're gonna have to figure out where this sits. If that bracket was on the backside, which I think I can move it to the backside, I think I might be able to mount it right here, which seems to be okay, guys. So I have to do a little more research here. I could not find a good installation video. There were a lot of promo videos for this thing, but no install videos. So this part's pretty straightforward. Okay, we got that in there. Probably don't need to torque these to any crazy amount or spec here. All right, I think that's good. I'll get a torque wrench afterwards and torque those down if I need to. So now, install fuse box with factory hardware. We got that installed on there. So these little guys pop off right here. And then you can kind of see all the fuses, all the wiring comes in here, and it actually has nice little gaps underneath where you run some of that wiring, and that looks correct. There's a wiring harness that'll go through here, plug into that. That's what goes to the switch over there. So I'll put this cover back on there so nothing gets damaged. Guys, so about this fuse box here, I'm not sure what this does. I have to research it. But like I said, this was originally where the controller box goes, so you got to find a location for this. So what I've done is I reversed this bracket. You just take a little flathead screwdriver, pop this little tabs right here, and it was originally on this side just because the wire wouldn't allow me to use it while it was on this side. So I moved it over. I'm going to loosen this bolt over here. I think that's a 10 as well. Yep. And I think I'm just going to use one. I mean, this is not going to go anywhere, but I will take this and I'll probably leave this loose for now. This is all one piece washer. And what I'll do is I'll just put this here. I'll get another bolt. I got to find another bolt. Now, if that's a ground, I'm not sure. I don't think it is, but I'll double check if nothing works. But this should be able to hold it in place. As you can see, it's almost like it was meant for it. Now I'll probably have to loosen this back up because I do need to get down. And I think the hood will still close. Let me do a test actually. But I think, yep, if you look at the clearance here, it'll still close with no problem. This cap's pretty high and should be okay right there. But I'll get a second screw or a nut, actually, nut and washer that goes over here. I think I have some extra one somewhere, so I gotta find one. But that should be okay there. I don't think there's anything in here that'll interfere in between or damage any of this. And then that clip. So now you might not be able to see it, but we have to get, there's a cap in here somewhere, so I'm gonna have to climb on a ladder somewhere so I can get in there. But yeah, this, I don't know if all JLs have this, but mine definitely had that, so just something to note. All right, let's get to the next step now, which is, hopefully you guys can see, so we've got that done. So now we need to locate the factory plastic cap in the firewall, driver side, about halfway down the firewall, and remove it by turning it. It'll need to be drilled, so you're gonna need a step drill so that you can drill a little hole, and that's where the wiring will pass through. So let's go ahead and jump in and do that now. Okay guys, I did remove this again. As I was telling you, I figured it would be in the way, but if you can see down here, that little firewall pass through, it's literally right here, and hopefully the camera will capture that. That right there, it'll just twist off. And I know it's easier said than done, but I'm gonna try. Just can't get, literally cannot get a hand wiring harness. Everything is right there, but that is what we want, that little pass through. So I'm not gonna show you me struggling in here, but you just need to pop that off. So let's see if we can pop it off somehow. Okay guys, I moved this a little bit out of the way. Hopefully you can see in there, there's the hole. Here's the cap. I just used my little pliers, or good sized pliers. Reached in there, did a tiny little bit of damage, but no big deal. This does twist off. I just couldn't get my hand in there to twist it off, but just grabbed it with this, popped it off. Now I just gotta drill a hole right here, and according to the instructions, should not be super big. So just get a step drill, drill the cap about 3/4 to allow the supply grommet to be installed. So they do give you a grommet that you're gonna install in there. It's already installed on the wiring harness, so that's gonna cap in here. So I'm gonna get my step drill and set it to 3/4 and go ahead and drill that through. So let's do that now. Okay guys, here's my drill set up with my step drill bit right here that we have, and you can see the markings right there. So there is the 3/4 in there. That wiring harness is pretty good size, so try not to like get myself in here, but this is plastic, so it should not take a whole lot of force to be able to do it. Let me just check. We're pretty close, 3/4, so a little bit more. Try not to get my hand here. And I think that should be pretty close. I may have to do a little bit more. I apologize about the garage mess. Like I said, we are still trying to get through. I think that is about where we need to go. Pretty close. May have to do some in the back end as well. Just be careful not to damage the lip here where it's actually going to need to clip on. So I'm going to start there. If I need to do more, I will come back and drill some more there. So I hope that helps. Now guys, you can see this wiring harness is pretty top notch. So big kudos to Rough Country here on the quality of this. It's got some nice sheeting on there. You've got the grommet already in here. So I think I'm going to have to drill just a little bit more. As you can see, I'm a little short here, so walk right back over here. Should be pretty close. Okay, let's see if that works here. There it is, folks. There it is. Works pretty good. And it's actually going to be the reverse order. So this is going to go right here, and the grommet should fit perfectly in there. Oh man, that is pretty spot on. So you should not get any water in there. Probably add some silicone in there, wouldn't hurt, but that is pretty spot on right there. So we'll come back over here, and if you remember this harness, come on, there we go. We'll put that over here for now. This I think is going to feed right under here, so we may need to slide this a little bit more. And there we go. So that should be in there. Just double checking. I'm gonna unplug it. I don't want it to put any stress as I'm doing the pass through and everything else. So, but I'm pretty impressed thus far, and that is what's gonna go inside the Jeep. And we'll play with that a little bit more here. I need some extra adjustments. Okay, so now we just want to feed this down here. Hello, neighborhood kids. Just want to insert that in here and feed that harness through. And this this should be pretty straightforward now. Should just pop back in place. Make sure I left myself still enough, enough room. There we go. This really is in the worst possible place. There we go. So she's popped back in place. Little grommet is, there we go. Alright, so we got that on there. Now I'm going to go inside. Okay guys, in the box you're going to have 2 more cables on top of the other wiring harness and the switch panel. And one of these is going to be a ground, of course. So this is going to go from here. I'm not going to plug that up just yet. And put your little washer. Try not to drop this. Okay, and we'll work on the wiring. I think they got to go underneath here somewhere, or maybe back here. Trying to see how they have, oh yeah, they'll go through the back. So we'll feed this wire through here. Same with the positive. Here's the positive. The fuse side I think is going to go closest to the battery itself, so we'll plug that up here shortly. And this one I should probably do before I plug it in, because it does have that fuse box on there. So this is going to be a tight little squeeze in here. Guess you just kind of bend it in. That's the only option if you want that lid to close over here. So there we go. I don't know if that's for this over here. It doesn't look like, unless I've got the wrong end over here. Oh, I do. Never mind. So I guess it does go close to this side over here. So this side is the closest. You can see because it is the smallest, so I just grabbed the wrong end. But so the fuse box does go closer to the battery. It's windy. Let's see, where is it? Right there. Okay, so this should be facing down, and I'll make it tight once I've put these in here before I bend it right now. Here we go. These are very small, so be careful that you don't drop this, because if you drop it, I am guessing you are not going to get this back. Of course, you can run down to the local hardware store. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't damage the wire. I'm going to undo this one because it'll be easier than running the whole wire through there. This is why it's good to look at the instructions, folks. Don't be like me. There we go. Okay, that looks nice. This is very well done from Rough Country. Can't wait to do the light bar as well. We're gonna do some pod lights for up here. I don't know if we'll do a big light bar up there, but I do have one already that's gonna go in the front bumper here. So I'll get my tool and tighten that up here in a second. So there we go. So we've got that wired up. I'm gonna go back inside. We'll connect this all once it's done. So now the next steps are to go inside, remove the bezel. So we'll start with removing that. I think you're gonna need a 7mm socket, so I need to go grab one of those. Unplug all the connectors from the back. We got to run the wire so it comes up over here and get all that connected. So let's go inside. Okay guys, real quick, so we got to pop this panel. We're inside now, and I just realized I did not have this camera in wide angle format, so I may have to unscrew those. I figure I had to put a little screwdriver in there. So actually I got to get a screwdriver. This is where my CB mic goes on, so I guess they went all the way through in here. So I got to take those off so that way this panel can come off. So you're going to pop it up from here, but hopefully the lighting is okay in here. And like I said, I just realized I had this in linear mode, not in widescreen. So I just saw that I missed a bunch of stuff, so I may have to redo it all over again.
Okay guys, let's try this again. I've removed the little cover here, and I think we just go in here and gently pry. There you go. Hopefully I'm not missing anything here. It says unplug all connectors, remove prior to... Okay. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Here we go. I hear it popping. Just always afraid to pop these things. They just never sound like, there we go. There we go. You just gotta finesse it out slowly but surely. And here we can see there's I think that's probably a LF antenna. Not sure what that's for, but pull this out carefully. You're gonna unplug this right here, which is for the main control, and then you've got one here for the power switch, and we've got that out now. So now you're gonna need either a 10mm socket, I can't even say millimeter, right here. That's just stuck on there. But luckily I got a screwdriver here. It called for a 10mm socket, so I don't know, rough country, if you guys are using like JK, because you said 13 on the other one over there. Definitely was not a 13, but it might be something that varies depending on your build that you have, the year, etc. So let's gently pull this out here. There we go. And this is probably going to have a bunch of wires attached to it as well, for the USB, for the media. Just remember where all this stuff goes. There's a lot of connectors on this piece right here. You got the power windows. Let me put the phone down. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand. Sorry, might be dark for a second here. So I pull this out. I love making videos for you guys, but they are they're definitely a little harder to do. I think I'm still missing something down here. Yeah, I feel it. There's one more over here. I think this is one of those flip harnesses. Just gotta pull. Ah, there we go. Pull that up, and then this should come out. There we go. So that's a push. Pull the panel out, and then that pushes out of the way. So we've got that out, and now what we have to do is, maybe this is where the 8 or 7mm socket goes. Just got stuff falling out, and this is the little pocket you're gonna have to remove right here. So you can see you've got 1, 2, 3. Now if you have a Rubicon, you're not going to be doing this because you probably already have the factory auxiliary switch panel, and the other piece of it is your selector to do the quick disconnects, and I think to do the lockers as well, if I remember correctly. If you do have the auxiliary OEM panel, you don't need this either, but you would have a smaller pocket in there also. So let's take that pocket out and let's add the switch panel. Okay guys, I really had to dig through like 3 of my tool kits that I have, and luckily I found it. It is not a 7mm, so instructions are wrong there once again. This is a 7/32 or 7/32, and yeah, that's a lot of them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 5 of these. So I'm going to take these off real quick, and the pocket should be free. So 7/32. I have no idea what that is in millimeters. I'll have to do the conversion later and pop it up on the video when I'm editing. So hopefully this helps. Again, I wanted to show you real quick because I noticed the video didn't show the step drill bit, and I've shown it in other videos before, but this is really handy. This is what I drilled, the little plastic cap that's on there between the firewall so that the grommet and the wiring harness can go in there. So I apologize about this. So let me take this off and we'll add the switch panel to it. Okay guys, we got the pocket out. Here it is, nice little pocket. And here is the rough country panel. Would you look at that? That looks pretty amazing. I'm trying to see if this goes from the front or the back. I would read the instructions, but who wants instructions? I don't. I think it might go from the back, so let's try
It just seems like it would be more flush from the front. Let me turn this over real quick. And seems to go. You may have to, this is pretty bendable if you're careful. It doesn't align 100% perfectly, and there are some little gaps in there. But you might be able to bend it. It looks okay. Fitment wise is not bad. Maybe once I put all the bolts in here. Let me grab one of these real quick. Oh, I got one out here. Just don't want the faceplate to get scratched, so definitely use a little towel here so that doesn't get scratched. And actually I need my screws. There's actually like 7 screws. All these little guys right here. I think you're only going to reuse 4 of them. So let me put them here. And like I said, you might be able to bend these little tabs so it fits a little bit better. The OEM one, as you can see, had a lot more. So we'll start with these, but it looks like you only need 4. It is metal where the pocket is plastic, so maybe that's why they only use 4. And again, don't over tighten these because you're going to have to align it so that you can get all of them in there. And that's the wiring harness that's going to plug up to the outside. So let's put these back together real quick. I had to switch to the iPhone here, so hopefully this still comes out okay. But there it is. There's the finished product. You can see there's a little bit of a gap. If you play around with it, I was able to get it better than if you just kind of screw it on there. So you can move it, you know, down, move it up, but no matter what you do, there's going to be a little bit of a gap. So I would say Rough Country, love the product, but maybe improve a little bit on the fitment of this. I also think if they would leverage all the mounting points from OEM, you might be able to get this a little bit closer. As you can see, that will pull the plastic in. Sorry, my neighbor just started cutting the grass, so I don't know how loud this will be, but it looks pretty cool. From far away, nobody's gonna notice that, and I'm looking more for the functionality. So let's go ahead and install it. Okay guys, hopefully the video will capture this. And again, sorry, it's really dirty. This car does get muddy a lot, as you guys know. So here's the wiring harness coming from the firewall itself. I just reach my arm up in here and reach my other arm here, and it comes out pretty easily. Let me hop back in here. And again, it's kind of dark, but you can see where the wiring's gonna go. And then I'm just gonna zip tie it. They give you zip ties already. You can wrap the X's. Obviously there's a lot that they give you for this panel. So I don't know if we'll have room in here. If you just fold it all up and tuck it in here, you can even run the wiring harness back through here if you want. This is where the power switch goes actually, so that might not work. So let me put this down. I think I gotta route it through here. Seems like there's a spot right there because that is where the switch for the power goes. But that's how I was able to grab it at first up here. So now I can just feed it through here. So you can see that's not hard at all. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna use that. And you can even go further back here if you like. Let me try that actually. Might be a better hiding spot, but yeah. So they give you zip ties for all the wiring already, and just gotta choose a spot. So let me see what's gonna work best. Let me put this down for a second. I found this spot. It's a little hole right here. So I did use it to feed it up here because it's easier, and then I just pull the wire through there. You can see it right back there. And coming out this little side piece right here, it is a longer wire, so you can either tuck it under there and zip tie it. I'm gonna try to fit it back here, see if it fits with this panel. Looks like there's some room right down here. So if it fits, great. If it doesn't, I'll pull the wire back. Everything is wired back up. Remember, all the connections pretty much go to the bottom because you've got the DC bolt here, you've got the power windows, and then you've got your media connector here. So these only go in one way, so no worries there as how they fit in. The only wire that's gonna go to the top, where did it go? There's only one wire that goes to the top, and it's this guy right here. That's gonna connect to the AC panel, your temperature control unit, and then you've got this one, which is gonna be the power switch itself, or the start button, push start button right here. So let's put this panel back together, then we can get everything else, and we're almost done. We just gotta run the power for the wire and the positive and the negative, and we're good to go. So let's go ahead and put it back together.
All right, I think we got it all back together. That looks really nice. I'm gonna hit the start button, make sure everything works over here. And sorry for the beeping. And make sure the lights, yep, all this lights back up. Sure the radio's muted here. And lighting should work, hopefully. Once we, let me see. There's a foot on the brake, I guess. Oh, there we go. Just so you can kind of get a better idea what the panel looks like. Pretty nice. It's a little hard to get it back in there. Have to fit because of the extra wiring and everything that's in there, but that looks pretty sweet. From up here, you don't see those gaps that I was showing you earlier, so fitment is pretty awesome. So I'm gonna put that back in park before I drive off, and let's finish the wiring now. Okay guys, I want to show you something real quick. So we've got the wire in there, pretty much everything's done on the inside. Hopefully you can kind of see in there where the main wire runs through from under here, as you can see right there. I've ran the negative cable through here. As you can see in this little channel, fits perfectly underneath these little brackets right here, all the way across. The positive cable is different because of the fuse box in the middle. You can run it here on this side. Move this out of the way. Sorry, my neighbors, like I said, started cutting the grass there, so you have to push this through here. It's definitely a little bit tighter. It's cut in here. If I pull it through here first, give me some slack. And then again, try to get some spacing over here. Definitely a little bit trickier. This is kind of bending. You don't have to do this, I don't think. You can just run it on the other side, because I don't think I can fit both wires in there, but I've got one in there. So I will just zip tie these together, come back under here, do the same on the other side, and we should be good to go, guys. Just connect the wires to negative and positive. And this is your negative right here. You have a spare pole right there that they give you, or one there, and positive will have a few as well. So you'll put the positive red there, negative there, of course, and we should be good to go. And they give you some zip ties, so I'm going to run this through here and zip tie it real nice so it doesn't even touch the engine, hopefully. So let's finish up. Okay guys, we've got everything installed in here. I gotta get a couple more zip ties, but we've got the wiring connected, negative. Let me just walk you through real quick so you can see it. It looks amazing. We've got everything in here, ran the wires through here, relocated this little fuse box as I showed you guys earlier. Hopefully the video captured that. And that's pretty much it. So we've got everything done in here. Let's go inside real quick and test this, see how it looks. Okay guys, we are inside the vehicle now. Everything is wired up, everything is in. This does light up and you can't see it because it's so dark, but the way it works is whatever light you have on, you can see. So if I flip all these suckers on, there you go. So that way you know which light you have on. So, and some labels or anything like that, they sell different things for it, but I think it looks pretty awesome. Install was pretty straightforward. Hopefully my video helped you out. And please comment below, let me know what you think. The next install that we're gonna do is gonna be the lights. Okay guys, thanks for watching. That is gonna be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed that quick install. That was on, again, the Rough Country MLC-6. That's a light panel, light switch where you put the control module in the engine bay, wired up to the switch panel you saw underneath the AC and window buttons and everything else. And it just looks so clean. It fits like OEM, looks pretty good. Again, if you have the Sport and Sahara without the auxiliary box from OEM, this is going to be a great option for you. There's a bunch of other ones out there. This was budget friendly, so we went with this one, you know, and I like rough country, so hopefully it'll work great. The next install is going to be the light bar. As I said, we're going to do the light bar that goes in the front Smitty build bumper, see how that looks. We're going to add some pod lights and a couple other things where we'll be able to take advantage of the rough country light control switch box that we installed. And again, thanks for watching, guys. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. If you are a subscriber, please leave a like, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. One thing that's really cool that I'll mention before I end the video is if you forget to turn off the switches, for example, or you're running them, you're at a car show or you're out camping, or you just forget when you get home, since they're not automated, it will automatically cut off. That was one of the things I really liked after, I think, the battery voltage drops below a certain number. I don't know what that number is, but basically it's enough to let you start the vehicle next time. So once it goes below that number, it'll cut off by itself. So I thought that was really cool. It's got fuses in there, 30 amp fuses. So if you short something out or something blows out, it'll blow the fuse out first before you damage that. And then I think the nicest thing about this is that I don't have to run wires into a switch every time I'm installing something new. So I love that you run it once and then you just wire everything up much cleaner on the control box in the engine bay itself. So anyhow, that is going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.